Hello, my name is Israel. I'm Brazilian, I'm 27 years old, and I recently graduated in the year. My major was in lighting, my minor was in dramaturgy, so it was a nice mix there. And I'm happy to be here and to share a little bit of my experience and the year.
And how did you end up learning about the degree, and how did you decide to apply for it?
Well, I've been dealing with lighting design for nearly 10 years now. This year is my 10-year anniversary. And so on my undergraduate, I graduated as a cultural producer. And since the start, I knew I wouldn't work as a producer. I was only using that for me to see the other side of lighting that wouldn't be related to design, but as the production itself. So when I got my degree in 2016, I knew it was time to develop now better my design abilities. And that's when I started looking for a master program that would give me international standards. And after loads of research, loads of emails, and maybe a few cries, that's when I got in the year. It was all internet based, my research and my contact, because by the time I was still living in Brazil. So everything that I learned from Delir was still on the internet.
And as an international student, is there any tips you would give to fellow Brazilians or fellow international applicants?
Well, first of all, don't be afraid. It might be a different culture, a different setting, a different language. But if that's your dream, you should pursue it and just be really well prepared in all of the aspects, financially, emotionally. Just take care of yourself and know yourself. That's one of the big important things.
Yep, and I would mention now, this year there has been a new funding opportunity for Brazilian students that would help you and just make sure everything is in place. So that's the Haddad Fellowship. And you can find more information about that on the LEO website. And going back to your course, you mentioned at the start that you specialized in lighting design and dramaturgy. Do you want to tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, it was an interesting mix, and I decided to do a part-time. Instead of doing one full year, I did 2 years part-time. So in the first year, I did mainly the theoretical part of the course, which was contemporary theater practice and dramaturgy. So it was really text-driven, and it was really intense for me as my first time in Ireland and the first time immersed in a different language. But it was really important. It was kind of the base for me to be able to jump from just thinking of design, but being a theater maker. So that was like a really important step in terms of my learning. And then my second year was basically lighting. And then it was really good to have that space just to think in lighting and develop not only my time during class, but out of class, thinking, researching, and being able to delve into this amazing world of lighting that I'm really passionate about.
What would you say was the most exciting thing you learned on the course?
Well, I would say it was the pirate demo, but well, apart the joke, I think thinking about design was the most exciting thing. It sounds kind of cliche and sounds very like evasive, but it is true. It was like thinking what is actually designing light that made me astonished. It wasn't one thing, but several things that made me realize, oh, that's designing lighting for theater. So I would say that's the answer.
And you got to apply all those skills and that mindset to Grad Fest towards the end of your degree. And for those who don't know, Grad Fest is a festival of 4 shows that focuses on the work of our MFA students, both on the theater directing and the stage design course. And you were a lighting designer on Image of an Unknown Woman. Do you want to tell us more about that experience?
Yeah, Grad Fest in itself is already a very intense process, not only for being a production, but knowing that the college, it's divided into 4 productions at the same time, and knowing that you're being evaluated on it. And this time, not only that, but we had the pandemic happening at the same time. So it was another layer of concerns of bureaucracy, of things we had to follow, rules we had to follow in terms of not being close to anyone, and sometimes we wouldn't be able to be in the rehearsal room all the time. We would have to watch through recordings or meetings with the director, and my fellow designer Luis Dunn would have to be through Zoom as well. So it was kind of challenging that way, but the Lear was very supported all throughout, and helped us not only with the logistics, but also the tutors helped us to think design, in times of pandemic, to think design in terms of health and safety as well, which is very important. So it was incredible how everything worked out at the end, and it was a privilege as a designer to be able to design in the middle of a pandemic while all the theaters in the world were closed.
And how would you say, obviously your circumstances are a bit more different because of the pandemic, but how would you say this whole experience, pandemic included, contributed to your development as a lighting designer?
It was an amazing experience all throughout, especially for being international, to be able to be in a different place, to experience a different culture, and from that, to take that itself and bring it to the theater was already amazing. And then have the support of a college that helps you with infrastructure and with tutors, and allows you to make real theater inside college, and being able to make mistakes as well, not only having to design or to produce in the outside world where you kind of can't fail. So it's really important, this space of trial and error in college. So that was like amazing. And having all the infrastructure in the Lear in terms of equipment, having the SMTTs as well, the students of stage management and technical training supporting with their technique what we design, it was like beyond words as well. So the whole way the college works it's amazing.
We sometimes get questions from potential applicants who aren't sure if they have the right experience, or they're not sure if they should apply for the course. Do you have any words of encouragement or any advice for them?
Well, I think the first thing is for you to be sure of what you want and where you are at and where do you want to go next. And if in this between there's theater, then you should definitely apply. If you're a very practice orientated person, there is a space for you in the Lear. If you're a very theory and you're bookworm, you want like to be very involved with theory, there's also space for you in the Lear. As I said, my first year was completely theory based and my second year was completely practice. So there's definitely space for everybody in the Lear, and you just need to be sure of who you are, and if theater is part of your life, then yes, the Lear is for you.